I mean, really? Really?
It's been a year of promises made and promises kept.
The vice president stops by today. Hear what he says about America's past, present, and future. Gaming gets real in Washington, D.C. We discuss the debate over violent video games and how it impacts our kids. Hots for Hippo. We'll tell you who's courting the Cincinnati Zoo's most famous animal. And they've just been announced. We'll introduce you to a few beers coming to a convention center near you. So glad you could join us on this Friday evening. I'm Danielle Serino in for Jimmy tonight. And we're starting with the stories of the day, including a visit from the vice president, more carjackings in Lakewood, and a firsthand account of the awful incident at University Hospitals. Andrew Horansky is filling in tonight for 77 Seconds at 7.
Vice President Mike Pence in Cleveland today, speaking at the Intercontinental about the administration's accomplishments when it comes to tax changes. The event itself put on by America First Policies, a nonprofit that promotes President Trump.
It's been a year of action. It's been a year of results. It's been a year of promises made and promises kept.
Another carjacking in Lakewood, this time at West 117th, where a man was brushing snow off his Corolla last night when a bandit hopped in the driver's seat and a backup guy pulled a stun gun. The bad guys got away. The car owner was not hurt, while it marks at least the 7th carjacking this year in Lakewood. And today we're hearing from families who may have lost embryos in that disaster at UH. We broke the story last night about the malfunction of a cryo chamber at Ahuja Medical Center, where about 2,100 embryos were stored, including those belonging to Caitlin Gerbach, whose chances at motherhood may now be slim since cancer forced her to remove her ovaries.
I wanted nothing more than to be a mom.
While one of the nation's best-known retail chains could soon be going out of business, Toys R Us. Sources say the company plans to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy liquidation next week.
So the company has not commented on this officially yet. We're expecting more news on Toys R Us next week. But my wife, I heard about this today. She texted me. She said, you know, some of those gift cards that we've been saving for the past few years, maybe time to use those. So we'll probably be out of Great Northern pretty soon.
Because you could be out of those for sure. But all right, do you remember the jingle from it?
Toys R Us?
Yeah.
No.
Because you're young. The world's biggest toy store is Toys R Us.
Well, I think back to like Kitty City, Children's Palace, KB Toys, some of the other great stores we had around here. You know, the kids just not having that experience of running through those aisles and seeing all of those toys everywhere.
Which was so much fun.
It was.
What a shame. All right, thanks so much. Appreciate you being here with us. All right, some breaking news tonight. Big moves just made by the Cleveland Browns, and Super Dave is here with the details.
Wow, I will tell you what, John Dorsey is not messing around. The last few hours have been unbelievable. Really, it is not Browns-like at all, but it feels good to know that potentially John Dorsey is going to turn things around. All of these things happened within the last 3 hours. I have been able to confirm that all of them are true. They were originally reports, but the Browns wheeling and dealing. Let's start with the big one at quarterback, because as we know, quarterback always the position that we like to talk about. And the Browns reportedly here have traded a 3rd-round pick. But I can tell you, Tyrod Taylor is indeed coming from the Bills to the Browns. 28 years old, 43 career starts, the last 3 years with the Bills. 51 touchdowns, 16 picks, almost 9,000 yards passing. This is definitely a two-way street here. He's a bridge quarterback. You go and draft a young rookie quarterback, and that's what Deshaun Kaiser did not have. He fills that role. But he can step right in and be your starting quarterback next year and for years to come. It's good to get many quarterbacks in that quarterback room. I wouldn't say this is the best option you could have gotten, but it certainly is a pretty good one for the Browns. I like this one a lot. The Browns agreed to trade 2 draft picks, and we're hearing somewhere between 3rd and 7th round to Miami for a Pro Bowl wide receiver, Jarvis Landry. He just signed a $16 million one-year franchise tag. Look for the Browns to redo that deal. This is a chain mover, a slot receiver, a Pro Bowler. This is huge. 400 career receptions. He is durable. He's only 25 years old. The Browns are getting younger, and they are getting better. Imagine if Josh Gordon can stay on the field and you have Gordon on the outside and Landry in the slot. Here's another trade. I mean, it keeps getting better. The Browns need help in the secondary. They traded for the 25-year-old Demarius Randall. He started 12 games for the Packers in 2017, recording 47 tackles with 9 pass breakups. He also intercepted 4 passes, taking one back for a touchdown. Here's what's interesting. Leaving the Browns, heading to Green Bay, is DeShone Kizer. Kizer, the Browns quarterback last year, as a rookie, obviously did not win a game, did not have that veteran presence. He was a turnover machine, and it's the end of the line for DeShone Kizer. Amazing to think, after just 1 year, he is heading away from the Browns. We'll have more on Facebook Live. I'll join Dave DiNatale, and of course, coming up tonight at 11. Danielle, I'm still trying to sort through all of this. I mean, really, it's been a domino effect late this afternoon. This is incredible.
I know, and I watched in the newsroom of everybody scrambling, trying to get all this information, but it's interesting news, certainly, so thanks so much.
All right.
And you know, there's also a lot going on in the White House today, an ongoing debate over whether video games are causing young kids to become violent. They say they're trying to find ways to reduce gun violence, and representatives from a video game industry group have been meeting with the White House to discuss a possible link. Now, we posted this story on our Facebook page today and got a few different opinions on how video games affect kids, and even if that's a real concern at all. And here's what you're saying. Gary tells us, for some kids, yes. For the vast majority of kids, no. Do kids act more aggressive while playing violent video games? Yes. Should the government be involved? No. Well, Gary, I don't know whether or not the government should be involved, but you are right about the connection between violent video games and behavior. There is no scientific research that proves that. In fact, the Secret Service did a review trying to find out the cause of shootings and found out 12% of those studies, the attackers said they were interested in violent video games. Only 12, and that's much lower than the national average, which is 85%. Now, Troy tells us most, if not all, of those games are rated M for mature, meaning you have to be 17 or 18 to buy them. Parenting is lacking, if anything. Well, Troy, I can't disagree on the parenting issue. Unfortunately, there are too many households where both parents have to work. But, you know, back in '94, when Congress was blaming video games, the Entertainment Software Association voluntarily offered to put ratings on games so parents would know what their kids are watching. And lastly, Michael says, it's funny how we are so quick to blame objects instead of holding ourselves for others or others accountable for our actions and poor decision making. Now, I understand there needs to be blame placed someplace somewhere, but it's focused in the wrong directions. And here's what's interesting, Gary. A group called the Southern Economic Association put out a study 2 years ago which showed there was actually a reduction in crime in the weeks after a major video game release. And several other studies came to the same conclusion. And as someone who is a mental health advocate, I believe that is a big component that we need to pay more attention to. So thank you all for your comments, and we look forward to keeping up this debate. But let's focus on some good stuff now. We want to introduce you to an everyday champion. He's using punches and prayers to help teens in Northeast Ohio fight their biggest problems and find success. Meet Reverend Morris Eason.
And they reach for, you hit them with 1, 2, turn away.
Morris is an everyday champion because he combines physical fitness with spirituality, with openness, and he approaches the children as individuals and allows them to mature and grow, but in a structured, rounded way.
3, 2, 1, reverse it, 5. So, you know, some kids come in there, they need encouragement. Some kids come in here, they need to take off the rough edges, find out they're not so bad, they're not alone, because bullies was bullied. And I've been through all the things that they've gone through, so I can relate, because it's hard to be what you can't see. A lot of people, you know, and counselors bless their hearts and teachers, but they can't experience the way I just have a different calling because I've been through that life with them.
He's great with kids, and the happiness and the motivation and the confidence builder and the prayers, the spiritual that he gives these kids is just amazing.
Shaking it up. And as I talk to them, you know, just let them know it's okay, it's cool to have spirituality. Not religion, but spirituality. Pushing them out.
My dad's an everyday champion because he knows how to build up someone who's lost so much to make them stronger and see the pureness in their heart.
Put you a book right, go ahead.
Nice. Well, nothing says Friday like a cold one. After the break, we'll introduce you to the latest beer festival coming to Cleveland. And later on, we got Penguins who are definitely in the weekend mood. We'll tell you how they got access to a camera in the middle of Antarctica. And speaking of Antarctica, Betsy.
What are you saying, Smalls?
I'm saying it's a little cold, Halls.
It is kind of chilly out there. But look, we're pink on the radar. The winter storm warnings have expired. The snow is winding down. The weekend, well, it's not warming up, but it's getting brighter. We'll talk about it straight ahead.
Channel 3 News at 7, Donovan Live, is made possible by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
All right, remember that jingle when it's time to relax? We've got the beer, or is this before your time too? All right.
A little before mine.
All right. Well, it is time, and today 10 local breweries were the first of many announced for an upcoming beer fest in Cleveland. And here to tell us all about it are festival representatives Brittany Sisko and Wally Weiss of sibling brewery Revelry Brewery in Westlake. It's called the Believeland Beer Fest, which is an awesome title. How'd you come up with that?
That's actually all Brittany right there.
And how'd it come about?
Well, you know, Clevelanders have so much hometown pride that we really just wanted a unique way to showcase that. And so what better than Cleveland people, Cleveland food, and Cleveland beer?
I love it. Okay, now 10 breweries were announced today.
Yes.
Who are they and how did you come up with them? How did you pick them?
Well, they are mostly breweries from around Cleveland, and there will be several from around Ohio as well as across the country. So you can actually go to the website, believelandbeerfest.com, and 10 new ones are going to be announced every Friday.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. How many in total are there going to be there?
We're going to have about 60.
Oh,
60 breweries.
Nice.
But the best part is those 60 breweries are going to bring 150 different types of beer.
Love it. Okay, now, this is what I really liked. I saw your press release, and you talked about what a wise man once said, and you had a great response to that. Do you remember what that was?
Well, we're talking about LeBron James here.
Yeah.
And in Cleveland, nothing is ever given and everything is earned. And you know what? We earn this. So we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate together. It's in Cleveland, by Cleveland, for Cleveland, all things Cleveland. So if you like Cleveland, come on out.
Awesome. And now the proceeds are, this isn't just fun and games, the proceeds are going somewhere. Will you tell us?
They are going to a Special Wish Foundation, the Cleveland chapter. So it's a really great cause.
Okay. Lastly, you give me the details. Where, when, how do we get tickets?
Sure. It's April 28th at the Huntington Convention Center. There's actually two different, there's an afternoon and an evening section you can go to. You can pick either one. So you can go online to get tickets. You can actually get early bird tickets until March 31st. So go online and get your tickets now.
Okay, and what is your involvement in all
My
this?
involvement is I am one of the breweries that was picked today.
High five! Nice.
So they
made the cut.
graciously called me an hour ago to show up to the studio.
Here are yours.
And I brought you some beer to drink.
Well, I'm going to be cracking them open after the show, trust me. All right, thanks so much for being there. This sounds like an awesome event. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. All right. Putin. All right, time to have some fun now and take a look at what's trending tonight. Netflix might have a big show in the works. Ohio's favorite hippo is being courted, and a few penguins got camera ready this week in Antarctica. I've got Betsy and our guest Wally Weiss with me tonight. So let's get started. The Obamas, they may have found their next gig. After leaving the White House, the New York Times reports Barack and Michelle Obama are in talks with Netflix to produce exclusive shows for the streaming service. What do we think about this?
I think the big question is, what is that show going to be about? Is it at home with the Obamas, which I think a lot of people would be very interested in, or is it kind of tagging along with the work side of the Obamas, which they are still very active in their roles?
Well, what I read is that it's not going to be fireside chats, yawn, yawn. It's not going to be like a Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but it's going to be positive stories full of hope. And I always...
Well, what I really want to know is Uncle Joe going to be in there? Is Uncle Joe going to go around and eat ice cream with the Obamas and maybe hit up some shops and
We
stuff
got to
like
have
that?
Uncle Joe, because you know there's always something funny coming out of his mouth. But they're doing positive stuff, and what I love is what she always said, which was, when they go low, you go high. And they're going to bring that. It's nice, and we need a lot of that programming on television. So, all right, this story, awesome, if you love animals especially. Everybody's in love with the Cincinnati Zoo's Fiona the hippo, and apparently, so does that guy. Timothy, the hippo from the San Antonio Zoo, posted a love letter to Fiona on Facebook, and that love letter has gotten thousands of likes and shares since it was posted yesterday.
Now, you listen here, Timothy. That's the discussion that has to be had right there.
Well,
Don't you take our Fiona away.
She's apparently very receptive about this, because she wrote him back saying, "Are you okay with paparazzi?" So
those big old paws on the keyboard.
Yeah, the only problem is, they're 1,200 miles apart.
Yeah.
Long distance relationships. They're tough ones. So, but I wish them luck.
But they're hippos, actual hippos. So. You never know.
Well, okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you were saying that it's hard to get there or something, but all right. 2 curious emperor penguins in Antarctica stumbled across a camera planted by an expeditioner, and it resulted in an epic penguin selfie video. Wait, watch this for a second.
Huh?
Get out of my way.
What is it? What is it? I always do a voice cross between the seagulls in Finding Nemo. And, those things are like 4 feet tall, adult emperor
Are they really?
They are. They're almost as
That's
tall
taller than me.
At least they dress the part for the photo. So.
I just think they're so beautiful with their, their black head, and then they have the eyes that you can almost not even see the eyes because they're just perfect.
They're adorable. Love them. Okay, so are we going to break now, or I toss it to you doing the weather?
I get to talk about some weather. This one's mine, by the way.
Well, there's a chocolate one in here. Is this it? There's a chocolate one.
That one's just going to go away for a little while. We're going to talk weather because things are getting better. So that's the good news. We'll be breaking out frosty beverages very soon. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s tonight, so you can probably put your beverages outside for a little bit here. The mid-20s to start the day tomorrow, but once the sun comes up, it's going to help us out. Now, we do have fresh snowpack on the ground. It can reflect a lot of the energy coming from the sun, so it's going to be a little bit of a sluggish start. We're going to stay chilly here for the next couple of days, but the good news is the snow is winding down. We are just left with a few flurries and random isolated snow showers in the area. This will pass. Yay! And then we're off to brighter skies. Just dealing with one more snow shower just north of 322. That's not 322. 322 is way down here. But anyway, north of Orwell, up in the Jefferson area, that will continue out toward the Andover area. So nice little coating of snow, a little squall coming toward Pymatuning. Temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s at this hour, and we're probably going to see this kind of holding. Our big storm system, this is the same thing that brought the nor'easter conditions to New England, slung all the moisture back here, turned our wind direction, drove that lake effect snow. Well, as that storm system moves out, it's going to pull the winds around to the west. That will bring in drier air, so we'll have improving conditions as we go through the weekend. And all in all, things are looking really good for us in your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. Just a few clouds for Saturday. Temperatures in the mid-30s. Look at Sunday, upper 30s to near 40. Yeah, that's a little cooler than average, but we're dealing with mostly sunny skies. Even as we lose an hour of sleep, I guess there's a little balancing act that goes there. We're going to stay in the 30s for a good chunk of next week. That's a bit of a bummer. We're going to dance around with some snow showers thanks to an upper level low, but once that moves out, things improve quickly. Mostly sunny, 45 Thursday. Friday, we're looking at sunny skies and highs near 60.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
What are you going with?
I'm looking at the beers. Apparently, I have to fight our producer after this about them.
This is later. We have to get through 7:30.
I know. Okay, we'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
Here's what's coming up tonight on NBC and Channel 3. Brought to you by Montrose. Everybody knows you've got a friend at Montrose.
Why would you allow an attack like this on the United States?
Why have you decided the Russian authorities, myself included, gave anybody permission to do this? Ничего. Nothing has changed since you and I talked last time in St. Petersburg.
All right, tonight on WKYC, we have an NBC exclusive. Megyn Kelly went on assignment to try to get some answers from Russian President Vladimir Putin after the special counsel indictment that charged 13 Russians with tampering in the 2016 U.S. election. So tune in tonight for what we're being told is a pretty tense exchange. All right, thanks so much for watching. Entertainment Tonight is next. Russ and Sarah will be back at 11. And, of course, we have constant updates on WKYC.com.
Browns news.
That's a lot of it. Okay, so like Hoda and Kathy do.
Hey, they drink storm 10 o'clock in the morning.
So I guess that's what we're going to do. Have a good night, everybody. Betsy.
Good night.
Thanks for watching Channel 3 News. Take Channel 3 News and weather with you wherever you go. Text WKYC to 25543 now to download our free apps.